Everyone, welcome to the Grand Rapids Board of Education meeting. Today is Monday, August 20. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Good afternoon. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Geetson here, Hoskins. Here. O'Connor.
Here.
Randalls. Ross.
Here.
Slade.
Present.
Baker.
Here.
Falb.
Here.
President Lanier.
Present.
8 present.
We have an agenda before us. Need a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side?
Just want to ask.
Great, we have an agenda. Celebrations. Looks like we have no celebrations. Any changes to that?
Nope, no changes.
Okay. No student representatives just yet?
Could I
Will be
just, actually, since that's on it, if anyone would like to, since we're having a new school year, and if anybody has people in mind that they think that should be student representative board, if you could get them to contact me through the board website, they can find my contact information. So, and if anybody is watching this, please let us know. So we'll be starting that process somehow soon.
What's
And
the
the only
age
requirement is
criteria,
just
Dr. Baker?
juniors and seniors?
Is that
I think that was
okay.
what?
Okay. Okay.
Although it might be fun to have.
It'd
I
be
know,
fun
that's
to
what I
have
was thinking, like a middle
freshmen.
school.
Fifth grader.
Middle school.
Public comment board agenda items. I don't have any cards. Are there any? There being none, we will move right into the reports. Madam Secretary.
Board of Education candidates, nominating petitions have been filed with the city clerk's office on behalf of the following individuals for 2 4-year term positions on the Grand Rapids Board of Education. 4-year terms expiring December 31st, 2016. David LeGrand and Nathaniel Moody. The date for this annual school district election is Tuesday, November 6, 2012. Editorial comment, please vote.
Great. Any questions, comments on the board candidates report? Moving right along, Superintendent Neal.
I have one report, and that would be Ron Gorman and John. They're going to come up. That's John Hemholt.
I'm Ron.
Ron Gorman.
I ran a job.
Ron and John.
It's a Ron and John show.
Welcome. Is this your first time?
Yeah. I'm a little nervous.
You're on camera.
And
Be
speak
nice.
in the mic.
Right.
All right. Well, good evening, board members, Superintendent Neal. We're here to talk a little bit about actually 3 new school choice opportunities that were developed by the Kent Intermediate School District with the help support of all 20 superintendents in the ISD. They've joined forces to look at how to create and offer high-quality educational choices that are developed by our local educators, by our local school districts, to provide those services for those students that may be interested in an online or blended learning model that combines the online learning and face-to-face learning in these different opportunities. I think it's important to note this offers kind of flexible schedules, engaging classes, and a system of student support where we'll have more of that, the instructor focus, not just online. Another unique aspect about this, of course, the legislature, we know that just recently they've expanded the charter cap and they certainly expanded the number of cyber schools. And this is a very creative and innovative approach where our local school districts came together, they brought the top educators from our county together to come up with these opportunities. And not only that, but they came up with a very creative revenue sharing formula. So as opposed to just those tax dollars going to a for-profit entity that's going to provide maybe an online learning, this is an opportunity where they kind of get the best of all worlds. It's done with our educators, it's with their curriculum that was developed, and those school districts actually will receive a portion of those per pupil dollars, a revenue sharing, and it varies, and it's something that they're still working out those final details. but it's another example of how these districts have come together in this kind of new educational world and this new playing field that has changed dramatically in the last year based on what the legislature has done to come up with these options. And these options, there's three of them. There's My School at Kent, My School at Local, and Success Link. And Ron's going to talk a little bit more on the details of that.
So with My School at Kent, the target students for this school are students who are not enrolled in school, students who the traditional schooling is not working for them, homeschool students, charter school students, and students not enrolled in our traditional high schools. The Success Link, which is another offering, their target students are students who are placed by the court system, dropouts, students who are in DA Blodgett at this time. The third option is something called My School at Local, which allows students to work online at their high schools. They don't have to leave and go somewhere else. They can stay in their high schools. They can participate in credit recovery opportunities, participate in dual enrollment opportunities, AP opportunities. So many of those things that are not offered in the base high schools are offered at My School at Local. Some of the advantages, these are real classes, real credits with the diploma that is being offered in these programs, which will go back to the traditional high school. So if you are taking classes or receiving credits from any of these three opportunities, the diploma will be from the high school, so Creston High School, Ottawa, etc. Like John said, it provides an opportunity for shared revenue for some of those homeschool students who we never received revenue for before. It gives us a unique opportunity to do that. Courses are vetted, aligned with the Common Core state standards, the Michigan standards, the next generation science standards. It is a hybrid design, so students are not online 100% of the time with the first option, which is My School at Kent. That's more of a hybrid model. There's some projects that are incorporated into that model. It's online instruction and face-to-face with a certificated teacher. Flexible scheduling, so for those students who maybe have some responsibilities at home, taking care of siblings in the afternoon, they provided flexible scheduling, so you can essentially work on weekends, on your schooling, work in the evenings, etc. They provide support, and not just like a 1-800 number to call. There's actually a person who's here locally to help students via telephone, online, or else you can go to the ISD to receive support. This is something that is just wonderful. Each student who's enrolled in the program will receive a computer and an internet card so that the students can access the internet everywhere. So if those students don't have the computers at home, it's not a limitation because those are provided. Like I said, classes are taught by certificated teachers. 50 classes right now are available through this model, and more are being added. We are asking our students, if they are interested in this type of learning, to work with the counseling department to make sure that the classes they're taking are the classes they need to graduate. And with so much emphasis on the Michigan Merit Curriculum, we want to make sure that we have that guidance from our counseling department so that students are signing up for classes that do not count toward graduation. If parents, if some of our homeschool parents out there want to enroll students, they can do that online. If you go to KISD's website, you can see the online learning option. You can fill out the application there, and you don't have to work with our schools. If you would like to work with our schools, please feel free to work with our counseling offices, and our counselors will advise you as what to do. Students can enroll anytime throughout the year. Their calendar is the same as our school year calendar, but students can complete classes in the summertime also, so they don't have to take a break during the summer if they need to complete some classes toward graduation. This is open to all students, grades 9 through 12, under the age of 19 and under. And transportation, if we talk about that, many of the schools already have transportation that goes to the ISD. But transportation is not provided for, let's say, homeschool parents. They would have to provide transportation on their own, but students in our schools, they could use our transportation, or they could take the Rapid if they're going after school. But if we have a route that's going there throughout the day, and we're able to fit this into a student schedule, the student can take the same transportation that he or she would take to KCTC. Is that good?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, don't we have programs currently within the school district that are similar to this, where it was kind of tied with the ISD at some point?
Yeah, the Success Link
loosely?
is probably one of the most notable, and we have Turning Point Academy.
Okay.
That's the partnership with Grand Rapids Community College that's designed to provide services for particularly those students who've dropped out, who are no longer within the school, and if they're under age of 20, we want to bring them in, not to just get their GED, but to actually get their diploma and earn college credit at the same time. And that's something that Mr. Johnson, Kurt Johnson, has been working on. This will be the second year of that. Certainly, they're two similar programs, and both have their benefits, of course, but through our partnership with the ISD, and we thought it important to, again, to educate those consumers out there, let them know they have different options. Turning Point is the closest to us, especially with our partnership, but again, this is something that these 20 superintendents worked with the ISD to come up with as well.
Sure. Any additional questions? I have Dr. Baker. Anyone else? Okay. Dr. Baker.
I guess I'm trying to figure out what the impact is or can be in relationship to students going to this option rather than figuring out ways to make our, regular school or traditional school options work for them. And secondly, and kind of connected to this is I'd hate to see this become our option for alternative schools instead of, basically, and maybe, moving our responsibility or steering them towards these options rather than the options. And I think that with that, still getting a sense of how alternative education is offered in GRPS today. That's a longer question, but all those combined, immediately it sounds fantastic. We're offering options, but I would hate to see it being used as a way to deal with students that are more difficult to teach.
When we talk, think of the Cambridge report, one of the things talking about how we better service those accelerated students. And this could be an option, again, I think the natural instinct is to go to alternative ed, but in fact, there may be that the student or the parent, and again, this is a choice that they would have to research, and it may or may not work for everyone, but there are some benefits from dual enrollment to advanced placement to that more accelerated learning that they may be prepared to move forward. And in this, at least in one of the options, you have more of the face-to-face. It's not just in front of a computer.
So, Ron, could you, in terms of how is this going to fit in with what's happening in alternative education? And is is my concern legitimate that we could use this as an alternative to alternative education?
Well, I think that, that the concern you're bringing up is are we essentially having someone do our work for us? And I think we need to make sure that we're doing the very best we can with alternative education in our school district. I have been to Southeast to see the great work that Mr. Huff is doing there, and if you've never gotten a chance, I know I had never had the chance of going there before I was in my new role, and I just see the great work that's being done there, and not only academically, but with PBIS. It was one of the first schools to really get that off the ground, so I see us strengthening those programs within our school district, and for this group, how I'm seeing the Success Link is these are students who are really no longer with us. These are students who have either dropped out, who are with the Abe Logic, who've been placed by the courts. So I still see us putting as much emphasis as we can on raising the graduation rates in our alternative schools within our school district and providing the best opportunities that we can. But this is all brand new to us, and I think it requires a little more investigation before we move forward and say this is only for alternative ed. Because I see the advantages of this. Because working as a high school principal, we've had opportunities for 2 or 3 kids to maybe take some advanced or AP classes. 3 or 4 kids want to take it at this high school. Why not provide opportunities to those students? Students who need some electives to graduate that may or may not fit in their schedules at the current time, maybe this is an option for them. So we're not saying this is going to replace anything, just maybe another option.
Ms. Slade?
Yes, I'm really happy to hear about it because as we go, as life changes for many of these students, I think it's a really good idea to expand all of our options for these kids. This is also the new alternative education process, not just a building anymore. So much as we're all kind of leery of just having kids go online, I'm really pleased to see so many options started. And if you could just keep us updated on that, certainly in the Student Achievement Committee, it would be much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Peterson?
So I just have a hypothetical. Let's say a child is in one of our high schools and is taking Chinese, but they also want to take Spanish. Is that going to be an alternative that they would have? Or is this not intended to addend curriculum? It's supplemental or addending? Because you talked about both, sort of both ends of the spectrum.
I mean, I believe that we need to take advantage of all the options that are out there. But I think it's going to come down to what works best for the parent and the student. If you and I have had some conversations before about some foreign language offerings that there are in some of our buildings. I know that many buildings offer French and they offer Spanish and they offer Chinese, but what if you want to take something different? You shouldn't be limited to, I believe, you shouldn't be limited to what we have if there are more options that are out there. Does that mean maybe doing something in the evening or the sixth period of your day? Possibly, but I don't know why we would limit options. I know with some IB schools there may be some limitations or there may not be, but I think it's worth exploring.
Dr. Paul, is that it?
Yeah, a couple questions. It's a whole new world, changing fast. What grade does this begin at? Is it in the?
Ninth grade, it's available
Okay,
from 9 through 12.
so not younger. Just
Not younger.
okay. And was there a process for vetting what students would for the my school local? Is there a process for vetting which students are appropriate for this, or is it open to everybody?
I don't think we've gotten that far in the process yet.
Okay.
And it's important to know, I mean, this was not a GRPS developed
No, I know,
initiative,
yeah.
so
That's right.
some of the questions we may not be able to
Right,
answer.
right. Just curious. And is it the entire curriculum, or is it only certain aspects, or is
The
it going to?
entire Michigan Merit curriculum, right now they have 50 courses that are being offered, and they're adding more. But
Okay.
it's the entire Michigan
So
Merit
I'm just
curriculum right
curious, like with some of the, like with the practical sciences, will there be ability to mash this with, being in the lab, for
Yeah.
instance, or?
now. With option number one, the My School at Kent option, with that one, it's hybrid learning. So it's on the computer, it's face-to-face, and there's also a project component.
Okay.
I don't know if that project component includes a lab for some of the science classes, but it did specifically say that it would be more than just online face-to-face. There would be that project component also.
I know they had a tour over at the ISD with their pilot school with us. Would we be able to, you think if I called up there, be able to go through there?
I think
you
we're
know.
all going to need to see exactly
Okay.
what they have to
Right.
offer before we send our students on buses
Right.
out there to
Yeah.
take coursework. I
Okay.
think we absolutely need to do that, knowing that we have a couple weeks before school starts. I know that and it was just the timing of this meeting, I know tomorrow night, and I'd have to get you the specific time, but in Gaines Township, they're offering a kind of tutorial on this whole process. My assumption is, because we probably be sending some kids there in the fall, maybe the winter, if we need to get out there, if you need to take a tour, some of our principals, teachers, even students, I think we should connect with them as soon as possible.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Dr. Baker?
Yeah, I guess it's, I don't know why this is raising so many questions to me, because it sounds like all these options are fantastic. I think that for GRPS students that end up encountering this, I just want to have something in place that we're recognizing it's meeting their needs. And I mean by needs, not just credit completion. I mean, are they getting, and so as we move away, if what the needs are, especially for kids that are in this predicaments they're in and learning, because they were troubled in other aspects of school or whatever, are they, it's not just credit completion that they need. And so they need human relationships, and how are we making sure that they get access to those human relationships? And I think that as we move towards these solutions for credit, and that's taking us away from what our real responsibility is as a school district. So
Well, I think we can probably all agree that that's where we may have fallen short with online instruction, is when
Right.
we forget about the teacher, who's probably the most important part of online instruction. I know myself from taking some hybrid classes. Those are difficult classes to take, and that you have to communicate with your peers online on a Wednesday at 6, and you have to be there. So there's much more to it than sitting in front of a computer. I think whenever we just put a kid in front of a computer for 6 hours a day, my assumption is that's not a good practice.
Right, and I like teachers, but I mean, what are the relationships that if the students, if we're not encountering, in other words, if they're cut off from other resources that are happening in the school. So one thing they're getting in the school, is a community, is hopefully other adults that care about them. And I'm not even suggesting it has to, I mean, I'm not even asking it from the vantage point of who's teaching them this content. I'm not asking them what is the relationship, and what they need isn't just course completion. And so I just want to make sure that we're able to address their needs instead of seeing our success as we got these kids to complete their courses. So I don't know how to phrase it completely, but that's my concern.
Thank you.
Full student.
Ms. Slade?
I just have one more. We did the tour out there of the program, the program that
You
you
did,
referred to.
yeah.
Did you go through that one?
No.
Because one of the most impressive things on that was the projects that they did. And these were kids from all over the county, and I don't know how many of you were there, but it's an excellent
Yeah.
program. And if it's modeled somewhat, in that kind of a vein, that was really a superior
was
program.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of project and interactions with kids, with each other. It was good.
Any additional questions, comments? Okay,
Phyllis.
thank you. Action items, there are none. Next, we have our consent agenda grouping.
Motion to
motion?
approve the consent agenda?
Support.
Peterson, yes. Hoskins.
Yes.
O'Connor.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Slade.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
President Lanier.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
There are no discussion items, public comment, non-agenda items. Have not received any cards yet. Any public comment cards out there?
Going once.
Okay. Madam Superintendent, time for your comments.
I would like to remind everyone of our back-to-school celebration, which will be held tomorrow from 3 to 7 at John Ballpark Zoo. You're all welcome to attend. And the other is the first day of school is September 4th, and that's coming up. We're real excited. It's important for parents to know that we need the correct address and the correct phone number. So please share with your neighbors how important it is for them to come to the school early to share the information. That's it. Thank you.
Great. Mr. Ross, board member comment?
None.
Slade?
None for me.
None for me.
Dr. Baker?
None for me.
Dr. Falb?
Nope.
You want to share that text?
Nope.
Reverend Hoskins?
Yeah, I want to say something.
Okay. Slow things down a little bit.
I don't know what I want to say, but I want to say something. Actually, what do we have? 5 year-round schools that have already started.
Yeah.
Going pretty good.
They can't go to
It's
the
going
back-to-school party because they're in school.
Well, it's at 3 o'clock. They come after school.
You feeling all
Sure
right?
you can.
Pick them up and bring them after school.
But I thought I had the floor. See, every time I talk,
It's true. It's
right?
That is
It's
true.
true.
Pastor.
I don't want to say anything else.
You're done now? Mr. O'Connor?
No.
Okay, well, all right, well, I don't have any comments, and this meeting is adjourned.
Yeah. Oh, record. That's a record.
No, it's not. I don't think so. Big room temperature. Yeah, man.
I got it. That's gotta be
It's efficient.
Yes.
I don't know.
Both.
They're all like this.
Bishop,
20, 25 minutes.
Cody.